Hey guys, check it out. We're in the great outdoors today. Beautiful overcast sky, nice flat lighting, ideal for what I want to do today. Today's video is all about getting better video with our smartphone. How do we do it? I got some tips and tricks for you which will help up your game. Family holiday, YouTube channel, doesn't matter. I got some tips for you which will help get better video. Let's get creative and think outside the box. As you can see, I'm back in the studio. Why? Did you hear the audio in that intro? The buzz in the background. The second I started recording, the park maintenance crew decided it was time to get out and play. So I stayed, I got all the video clips that I needed to create this video, but I thought I'd come back in here so we could get some clean, crisp audio. So with that being said, let's get into this. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is this isn't so much on the technical aspect of getting better quality with your cell phone. It's about being more creative. Although my first point is more of a technical point, and that is using the rear lenses over using the Selfie, the front-facing lens. Why? The quality difference is great. The back rear lenses are far superior to the Selfie one. So try your best to use the rear lenses over the front lens. Now, if you need to see yourself while you're filming with the rear lenses, if you have an iPhone and you have an Apple Watch, you can use the in-camera app, strap your watch around your cell phone, and then you can use it as a little monitor. They almost look like teleprompters that you can get that'll work for any smartphone. It's basically a little mirror system, so it bounces, and you put it on a little rig. You can put it on a little tripod, and that way you can see yourself and you're using the rear camera lenses. Now, talking about lenses, as we were, most smartphones have multiple lenses. Don't just use the one standard lens. Try using the telephoto. Try using that ultra-wide lens. I love the ultra-wide lens. I think it looks a little more cinematic. I mean, look at the side-by-side. Look at the difference between these two videos. Look how much more detail and stuff I'm getting within it. You also get a greater sense of motion when you're using the wide angle. I just love that wide angled look. So try using different lenses to create different effects. Now, when you're shooting video, you don't want to just shoot all your video from this angle, which I see a lot of people doing. You want to try and be a little more creative. I mean, look at this little pan across of this little arbor with the flowers on. I mean, that's a standard little shot that you see for a lot of B-roll clips. But what happens if we get in closer and we get up underneath the flowers? Get up underneath, get in close, try different angles, get up above. And you can see how it looks so much better and so different than just a straight panorama. So that little panning is fine, but get in, get some details, get some different angles on that subject. What happens if we take our cell phone, instead of doing this, what is if we take our cell phone and hold it way above our head? Look at these two clips, one where I'm just holding it normal, and the other I'm holding it high above my head as I'm walking down this little path. Look at the difference in perspective on the two. There's a huge difference between them. You can chop and change. Don't just stay with one little angle that you're shooting. Switch up your angles. Create multiple angles, and you can get different effects, different looks, and you can get a different feel to your video. What happens if we look at a subject like this? Check out this flower, and now we pan down it, and we add a little bit of slow motion to it. Look how dramatic that looks. Instead of just a quick pan of the area, we picked a piece of detail. We're panning down. We're looking down on the subject. So you don't just need to shoot straight. Speaking of low, that is our next point. So here in vertical mode, you can see I'm just walking along the path here. It's that big rock kind of border to the garden there, and it's a standard little clip. Looks fine, but there's nothing special about it. What happens if I turn my cell phone upside down so the lenses are closer to the ground when I hold my cell phone lower to the surface? Check out that now. Totally different look. It's the same spot, but look at that sense of motion because the lenses are so close to the rocks. It tends to speed it up. And honestly, I was walking no faster, but you get a totally different look to it with the lens upside down. Now here's a standard. Check out this piece of artwork / bench that's in the park. It's a cool little feature, but I just pan across. It looks okay. It's kind of a neat little thing. What happens if we get the lens low, holding it upside down, and then make it look almost like a roller coaster? Check this out. You can see how well that works by keeping the lens low to the subject, how I've changed from a standard panning shot of it to something that's more creative, more artistic, more cinematic, and greatly increase the sense of motion with it. You almost get nauseated with those little whoopee hills going up and down. Another thing you can add to get better video from your cell phone: slow motion. Who doesn't love slow motion? Let's look at that bench area again, and there wasn't much breeze, so there was nothing really I could do for slow motion. So what do? We always use me as a subject. So here I am doing my best Superman act, jumping off of the little bench set there and literally almost falling on my face. But it does look awesome in slow motion. And no, I did not plan to fall over. Unfortunately, when I landed, my weight was a little far forward, and there we continued on the motion. But yeah, I thought I'd leave it in, show you a bit of a behind-the-scenes blooper of the fail versus cutting it off where I landed like a superhero. Shoot at 60 frames per second, shoot at 120 frames per second, or higher if you have the capability. Another thing to help get our video looking its best, and this is a big one: lighting. Get out early morning, get out late in the evening. You heard of the golden hour, that beautiful glow. You get in the morning, you get in the evening. You don't want to get out at lunchtime on a bright sunny day with all that hard lighting. Now, I was out near lunchtime-ish here, but look at the sky. It's overcast. I've got some fairly flat lighting, which works quite well. Now, you do get reduced contrast within your video, but it allows you a little better color grading when you're in post. But that flat lighting, it helps protect the shadows, it helps protect the highlights. So pick better lighting situations to create your video, and your videos will get better. Now with the lighting, here I'm just panning across some clematis flowers here, and they look lovely, nice purple color, but the lighting just, the video, it's fine. It's a piece of B-roll, it shows the plant, it's great. But let's try and get a little more artistic. Let's try and get a little more creative. Let's do some backlighting versus front lighting, because that was front. Check out this backlight. Look at how the glow is through the petals, through the leaves. Look at how the sun pokes out and you get the little halos and everything else off the lens. That is a little more artistic. That is a little more creative, and will give your video that little extra edge to up your game. Now we get into one of the things I love. Why not try getting a bit more creative and adding a bit of B-roll in your video, and add a bit of time-lapse, motion-lapse, hyperlapse. Check out this hyperlapse. Nothing is better than doing a good old hyperlapse. I love these. And you can add little clips of it into your video to make your video a little more epic, a little different than everybody else's, because you've got so much different content. You should lock your focus and exposure in a lot of situations, because otherwise you're going to get exposure changes, you're going to get white balance changes, and the focus will be bumping all over the place. So here I am. You can see I've locked the focus and exposure, and I'm simply doing a pan across this scene here where the flowers are up on the arbor, and I kind of look up at the sky a bit. Nothing shifting. My exposure and focus and everything is staying the same, and it looks great. Look what happens when I do not lock the focus and exposure, and you can see when I'm bumping up between the sky and the plants and the trees, how the exposure shifts hugely between the tree going dark to lighting up to a vibrant green, and back and forth and back and forth. And that's what you want to avoid when you're doing your video. That's why you need to lock your exposure and your focus to stop that exposure shifting. All right, so that last one was a tip for you, my bonus tip. Now, my bonus tip is you want to get the most stable footage from this. Yes, you can walk like a ninja and hold it steady, but why not put it on a gimbal and get that buttery smooth, super gorgeous looking video? So that is my last bonus tip. Look at me having a little walk in the park, how much smoother that video is. Now you still get a slight up and down motion because the gimbals are a 3-axis. That up and down is your 4th axis. That's why you walk like a ninja, to try and eliminate that up and down motion as much as possible. But you can see that video is so much better, so much smoother once you put it on a gimbal. That is my bonus tip for you. So that was 2 extra bonuses for you. 1, locking that exposure. The bonus, use a gimbal to get the most stable footage. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of different points to help you get more creative by using your smartphone. And it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have, Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. All these tips and tricks will work to help get you more creative. Alright guys, that's it for this one. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, give it a double thumbs up. So, until the next time.